Bitcoin is an ideology that spawned a protocol that created an asset that circulates on a network. The ideology is sovereignty, sound money, freedom and property rights, right? Dignity of the human spirit, ownership of your life force, economic sovereignty, and immortality. That's the ideology of Bitcoin. And Satoshi gave us that.
Altcoins come and go, narratives change, but Bitcoin is the truth. The hardest money the world has ever seen. I've thought about it, long and hard, the pros, the cons, dug deep, questioned everything. And at the end of the day, you've got to make up your own damn mind. I have conviction. This is freedom. I'm a Bitcoin maxi. All right, legends. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Maybe you took a break from the chart. Maybe you traded like a crazy person. Welcome. It is Monday and Bitcoin is still inside of a range, but I see altcoins popping everywhere, right? It is that time where people are like, who wants to look at Bitcoin? Everyone just wants to look at their favorite altcoin at the moment. It's like, can we just get the Bitcoin technical analysis done so we can go into the altcoins? You know, that's the mind shift change that has happened over here. Where when the alts were crashing, okay, and we were inside those deep corrections, long, boring corrections in Bitcoin, no one wanted to look at altcoins. But now, Dewald, this altcoin, Dewald, that altcoin, the personal messages, where's the maximum target for this? Dewald, did you know about this? It's just altcoin crazy at the moment. And I mean, you can see it from the dominance, right? As per the last live stream, okay, on Friday, we were hoping to get a little bit of a bounce here at the 0.382, you know, nice above the highs, little bit of support here on the Bitcoin dominance, and it tapped it. We had one candle to the upside and it just continues. Now we're looking at the 50% Fibonacci where we have more support. If it continues, we're going to look at the trend. This is a major trend, guys, by the way, together with a 618. But for now, I'm not sure if volume means anything in Bitcoin dominance because it's an indicator chart. Okay, I'm not sure if we can rely on volume over here, but you know, if it was a tradable chart, you can see this is selling pressure, guys, and this is usually when I teach technical analysis, usually what I like to tell people is that, and I'm not sure if we can take this seriously on Bitcoin dominance, but usually when you have a high volume candle, it usually signifies the end of something and the start of something new. So could this be the end of something and this is the start of something new? Right, only time will tell. But as long as Bitcoin dominance is falling here to the downside, we are going to have an altcoin party. Right, so we might as well just take advantage of the altcoin party. Bitcoin is ranging, altcoins are flying here to the upside. I mean, I can just see the green here if I scroll through my list that I have here. DAG up 10% today. CAS up 15% today. Woo, there's some nice little altcoins just absolutely popping. Every day is just a damn green day on some of our favorite alts, expecting a pullback because maybe you missed it. And the pullback is just not coming at the moment. So all you can do is zoom into the smaller time frames and play those little breakouts to the upside. Right. So legends, as always, we are going to do a little bit of technical analysis here on the price of Bitcoin. But I promise you, I will keep it short and brief and bright. And then we can go and look at some of our favorite altcoins. I keep on getting requests from people saying, Dewald, can you please give us a high risk list? I saw someone made a comment here in the comments also just now. Please, Dewald, we want high risk tokens, low cap, very low cap. Guys, I don't have a list prepared today. Maybe we can scratch around on CoinMarketCap. Maybe you guys can give me a couple of ones that I can chart from a technical perspective. But I am doing some research, and in the next live stream, I will give for the degens out there, for the people that don't mind losing everything, okay, I will give you a list, but it's going to come with some extreme disclaimers, right? I have spoken about some altcoins or high risk tokens that I've bought lotto. I call it lotto ticket, guys, because this is money that you need to write this off, right? So I do have some of them in my portfolio, and they are less than 0.01% of my portfolio because I know the risk that is associated with these tokens. But we all know with high risk comes high reward, right? But please do not put your entire life savings in these high risk tokens, assuming that Bitcoin is just, or dominance is just going to continue with a rampage here to the downside, because it can get those little bounces, okay, that wipes you out. If you're playing leverage on some of those high-risk tokens and you get a bounce from Bitcoin dominance, even if it makes a lower high and then it continues to the downside, that little move can wipe out your portfolio if you're not careful. And this is why I like to focus on altcoins, that we all know about. It has some money behind it. The team has been around, okay? So without further ado, if you haven't done so already, remember to smash up that like button. Oh, am I going to get stopped out of this trade? Anyways, we can get to that in a second. I had a nice little scalp trade here to the upside already, took some profits, got stopped out, entered another trade, but I will talk about it here on the price of Bitcoin because I do make most of, guys, I still trade 95, except for now, 95% of my day trading is still done on Bitcoin. That's where I make my day trading money. And then I take the profits and I go buy some more altcoins, okay? But I don't particularly like to day trade altcoins, although it's now a good idea to do it because you can zoom into the smaller time frames. Because, I mean, guys, these altcoins are just breaking up, okay? So if I look at Fetch here, for example, just as an example, okay, and you zoom into the smaller time frames, there's many trades you can take here on your favorite altcoins. Right? I mean, there's just breakout, guys. It just breaks out every single time. It just breaks to the upside. Breakout after breakout of it just continues, guys. However you want to draw your trends over here, you can see you can just play your breakouts here to the upside. Okay. Well, that was the breakout. That was the however you want to, you can play these little mini breakouts to the upside because you have to acknowledge that the momentum is to the upside. You are making higher highs and higher lows. So it's in your best interest to look for longs. You trade the momentum, okay? Right, if you don't have swing trades open from lower levels, like where I bought Fetch, for example, or Litecoin, or Doge, or some AVAX, Theta, AR, Moon River, GRT, some of the ones that I've bought that's now absolutely Link. Who else is there? Rune, XRP. Okay, some of the ones that I've bought has already left the station. Okay, it would be silly to open up a swing trade right now on 2 or 3x leverage and just expect momentum to continue, considering how far you now are from your invalidation. Okay, it really doesn't make sense. You have to wait for a larger pullback, but you can still day trade. You can day trade your favorite altcoin, especially because the momentum is to the upside. Right, legends, let's get the party on the road. Let's start with some technical analysis. How do they calculate volume on BTC dominance? SGS, I have no idea. That's a very good question, because there's no money going through dominance. It's an indicator chart. It shows you that money is flowing out of Bitcoin into the altcoins. This is what this is showing you. Money is flowing out of Bitcoin into altcoins, and this is why we're having an altcoin party. So I don't know where the hell volume is coming from. Okay, I don't know, right? Because you can't trade it. I can understand when there's money going through, then you know it's the amount of volume, the demand, the supply, whatever the case might be. That makes sense. But SGS, really good question. I don't know. Right, Dewald. Let's see. Smash up the like, peeps. Okay, guys, I will say hi to the community in a moment. Stefa, SGS, mods in the house. I always appreciate. Junior, always appreciate you guys supporting here the channel. Hopefully we won't get a bot attack. We haven't had a bot attack in a long while, touch wood, okay, here on this channel. And this is why I put the subscriber mode on. Guys, I'm not trying to get subscribers by putting a 5-minute timer on. If you want to make comments, you have to subscribe to the channel, but it's mainly to keep the bots out, because I've noticed with 1 minute they still get in, but usually if I put a 5-minute time delay, it keeps the bots away. Hey, and I'm a poet, I don't even know it. Right, but anyways, legends, let's start with the technical analysis. On the 1 hour time frame, let's maybe go to the 4 hour time frame. It's Monday. Let's just take stock of where we are. Let's zoom out a little bit and just take stock of where we are still since we started the rampage here to the upside. Okay, can we still expect up? Right, we've made a low and a high, so let's just take stock of this little structure. Can we still expect momentum to continue up, or are we going to go down for a deeper correction, maybe find support inside of this consolidation area? Right, that is now the beauty about Elliott wave theory. A lot of people tell me that Elliott wave theory is shit, and I tend to disagree, because it's because of Elliott wave theory, okay, that we have been successfully able to determine whether this is corrective or impulsive. And during this entire correction, I kept on saying we're going to take out the high. And the amount of shit I got, the amount of backlash and comments, how dare you mislead your community when we made these lows over here, guys, is based on technical analysis, and it's because of my knowledge in Elliott wave theory that based on this, I knew that we're going to take that high again. Based on this, I knew that we're going to take that high again. It's never guaranteed, but I always use the word high probability, low probability. There was always a much higher probability that you're going to take out the high. Even during these little corrections that we had, every single time, guys, we're going to take out the high. Guys, we're going to take out the high. Guys, we're going to take out the high. Regardless of how deep we correct, we're still going to take out the high. And that is based on Elliott wave theory. So Elliott wave theory, especially here on the larger time frame, gives me directional bias. If you don't know what directional bias means, it means that I am favoring one direction over another. One direction has higher probability, so if I am favoring upwards momentum, I will still aggressively be looking for longs, and I won't sell my spot bags, and I will be buying altcoins. But if the momentum to the downside looks impulsive, that's where I start thinking about selling. Okay, and I have not thought about selling during any of these corrections that we've had, especially this one as well. For those of you that's diehard fans that's been here on the channel for very long. You know, even during this long consolidation area, you can go and rewatch all the live streams that I did inside of this consolidation area. I kept on saying, we're going to take out the high. We're going to take out the high. All of this is corrective. It's corrective. It doesn't matter how deep it goes. We're going to take out the high and continue momentum to the upside. Right. And then for some reason, all hell broke loose during this correction. And I think the reason people thought we were going into a bear market, guys, I'm just doing some higher time frame analysis, is because of what happened here on the daily time frame. You have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is what scared a lot of people. You have 5 waves to the upside. We are now going into a bear market. Okay, and all good and well. Since we made that high at $109,700, give or take, since we made that high, the most important thing for me to do as a technical analyst is to analyze the structures and the momentum to the downside. Okay, I spend many hours in front of the charts analyzing what is happening here. Is it impulsive or is it corrective? Because if I can identify a corrective structure, I know that you're going to claim the high again, regardless of whether that's a 5-wave structure. And this was corrective. Also, again, you can go watch the live streams that I did over here, because when Bitcoin made these lows over here, that is where I bought altcoins. That is where I opened up my swing positions. I told everyone I'm buying, okay? Guys, these swing trades that I've got open on Theta, ICP, Doge, LTC, Link, what else? Basically the same ones, ICP, AVAX, Doge, Litecoin, whatever the case might be. These swing trades, I think I just got stopped out of that trade. Yes, I did. I can like to have gotten stopped out of that trade, but we're going to get into the technical analysis. I didn't open these trades in secret, and now I'm showing off the P&Ls. No, it came with buying when no one wanted to buy. Right, so now the most important part is this little structure that we are forming. So let's zoom back here onto the 4-hour time frame, and now let's look at this little structure. Okay, now I do exactly the same thing that I've done during every single correction. What are the probabilities? Is this corrective and we're still going to take out the high, or is this impulsive to the downside? Okay, that is what I do as a technical analyst. That's the most important thing that I need to do. Do I need to look for longs so we claim the high again, or should I now start looking to sell? Okay, right, so now let's analyze the structure. Let me see if I do have these scenarios still here. Remember to smash up that like button if you haven't done so already, and now we start analyzing. Dewald, are you still working on the core stuff? Yes, I am. It's very exciting, very, very exciting what I'm working on. And it's ironic, guys. I keep on saying I'm going to start, I'm going to start, I'm going to stop. But what's ironic to me is that when you go into proper bull cycle mode, the euphoric mode, the mode where altcoins are just exploding here to the upside, okay, making those 50% gains, 100% gains on your favorite altcoin, okay, it is unfortunately the phase in the market, okay, where stupidity starts kicking in, and also a sense of I cannot lose. It doesn't matter how bad your entry is, the rising tide raises all ships. So most people just enter blindly, FOMOing into the trade, and they still end up winning the trade. So it creates that false sense of I'm a good trader, because it's just going up and up and up. So whether you're a good technical analysis or a bad technical analysis, and this is what also locks retail into the market, unfortunately. Price it doesn't matter how shit your entry is, price just keeps on going up. Okay, so the rising tide raises all ships, and it creates that false perception that people know how to trade. And then the bear market comes and it wipes them out. And then they realize, oh shit, I actually don't know what I'm doing. I've just lost all of my profits. For those of you that's been through previous bull and bear cycles, you know exactly what I mean. Okay? It's that false sense of I'm a good trader, and then you get humbled very quickly. And that is why I'm doing the trading course. And I can tell you guys now, as long as Bitcoin is going to rampage here to the upside and dominance keeps on dropping and altcoins keeps on exploding, there's a lot of people that's going to say, but I don't need a trading course. I know what I'm doing. It's when Bitcoin goes into these corrections, okay, that's when people are like, shit, I need a trading course. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Anyways, so I'm busy working on that trading course because I know once a deep correction starts, people are going to want to know how to trade. Right. Okay, cool, legends. So let me see if I still have that scenario most bullish. Here we go. Most bullish local. Okay, I'm going to stick to this one. There's another bullish case scenario, but I want to be conservative. Okay, so based on this bullish case scenario, we have so far 3 waves to the upside. Okay, there is, guys, I know someone made a comment, but there's a 445. Okay, it's supposed to look like that. I do have a more bullish case scenario, but the reason I'm not talking about this scenario is because I want to be conservative. The only difference between this scenario and this scenario okay, is that this most bullish case scenario has another 4-5 to the upside. It has one more 4-5 to the upside, where this is now the green 3. We're looking for the green 4 to finish, and then we're going up for the green, the blue or turquoise, I don't know what color that is, 3. So I'm just going to keep it conservative and talk about this one. Right, so just to take stock of where we are, right, is that since the low that we've created here at $98,100, I can count 1, 2, 3, and we are now still busy with 4, which is perfectly fine. And then I'm still looking for one more high. In the most bullish case scenario, I'm looking for another high. Okay, can you guys see? I'm just trying to be conservative over here. So in this scenario, we have a clear invalidation, which has not been tapped. So as long as the invalidation stays intact, well, I think, the party continues. There's my invalidation at the 0.618 when you take a fib from number 2 to number 3. Inside of number 3, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and this just looks like a long corrective structure, which is perfectly fine because remember, you had a very long 2, you can expect a very longer 4. And it's typical in Elliott wave theory that your 4th wave can be longer than your 2nd wave. It's normal. You want to actually see that. Okay, and at the moment, right, it still has, well, when we made this low, okay, what did I say, guys? What did I say when we made this low? Okay, and I'm looking at this impulse. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When we made this low, I said it's not time yet. I told everyone, if price had to do this, I would have been very surprised, because especially here on the 4-hour, 1-hour time frame, okay, the more accurate, remember guys, the higher the time frame, the more accurate the technical analysis. Okay, so it would have been very strange for me to see price just rocket from here, because it wasn't time yet. The correction needs to at least finish after the 0.382. And now that the price is still chopping sideways, that's what I want to see. Because if price now rockets here to the upside, I can say, well, this is all part of the correction and it was about time, okay? But I mean, it can still extend here to the 1 extension. The correction can still continue. It is still very much in time. It's not overextended. It makes sense that the correction can still continue. Okay, and I mean, the 1-to-1 extension is on 26th of July, 10 o'clock in the morning. Okay, right, legends. So now, okay, keeping it very simple, the invalidation for bullish momentum to continue to the upside is $111,000. Let's just give it a round number, $112,000. You do not want price to go to $112,000 without taking out the high. That's just how simple it is, okay? I'm actually going to take the ABC out because it's actually a different corrective structure. It looks like a complex WXY, okay? And I'm going to go into the structure in a second. So from a simplicity perspective, okay, maybe price can still come down, tap the 50% Fibonacci, grab all of the liquidity early longs, and then continue momentum here to the upside. But you don't want 112 to be tapped. Okay, so until then, we can still party and drink tequila and enjoy the momentum, from our favorite altcoins. Right. I'm not necessarily going to focus on bearish case scenarios now, okay, because the bullish structure is still intact. And once the bullish structure gets invalidated, then I'll start sharing some of the bearish case scenarios, because there are bearish case scenarios. Okay, but in the spirit of bullish continuation and the altcoins exploding and everyone posting on their altcoin, on their YouTube thumbnails, altcoin seasons has officially started, right? In the spirit of bullishness, I'm just going to leave you with $112,000 should not be tapped until we've claimed the high. Okay, if it goes up first, it claims the high, then it's fine to come and tap 112. Then it's perfectly fine, because now you have an impulsive structure to the upside. Okay, which means that there's a high chance you're going to make a higher low and continue momentum back to the upside, right? But it will all depend on the corrective structure. Is it impulsive? Is it corrective? Whatever the case might be. Right, now let's go on to the 1 hour time frame. Switch the scenario off. Doop. And look at this little corrective structure, which has not been easy, okay? But this corrective structure on Bitcoin has given us some very nice altcoin trades. Okay, right, so legends, I'm just going to keep it very simple over here, okay? The invalidation, let's just put that invalidation line, okay? I'm not going to switch on the whole scenario. Here at 112, okay? Let's put it there. And we call this the invalidation. Invalidation. So keeping things simple, whatever is happening over here should not hit this level. And as long as it does not hit this level, the probabilities remain higher that we're going to claim the damn high. Okay, so this is all part of a very complex corrective structure. It can form a triangle, it can form a flat in a WXY. There are many, many, many options, guys. So the one option that I'm looking at is to say that, well, this could be an A, this could be a B, and now we are forming a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You should not tap the invalidation. Then you have an A, B, C here to the downside. Grab all the liquidity below the low. We still have this teeny weeny tiny little consolidation area that can definitely provide support. And then we continue momentum to the downside. This is the worst corrective structure that I see. The most bearish corrective structure is an A, B, C. Okay, without tapping the invalidation. Right. Guys, I do have the scenarios prepared. I just quickly want to talk about it because I know you guys just want to see your altcoins. I can see, guys, what about SUI? What about, ICP? Someone wants to know about ICP. Someone wants the maximum targets for ICP. I will go through that in a moment. Right. Stop selling courses. Stephen, why should I stop selling courses? Okay. Right. Dewald, are you still working? Okay, I've gone through that. Right, someone has asked here for my maximum target on ICP. Oof. Dewald, can you please take a look at ICP and the max prediction? I will go through that. Let me flag your comment so I don't forget. Where's the little star? Then I flagged your comment so I don't forget about that, and we can go through that again. Right, cookie. Yeah, the cookie is on one of my charts, right? Okay, max target for say, man. Someone wants a max target for say over here. Guys, we can go through altcoins now. I'm almost done with the technical analysis here on Bitcoin. So, legends, the one scenario is we can form a triangle. Okay, you've created the high, and fourth waves, like we are busy with right now, loves to create triangles where this is the lowest point and it's not going to take it again. The one thing that I do keep in mind from a psychology perspective is that I think that there are a lot of people waiting for this level to be tapped. Okay? I think there's a lot of people waiting for this level. Price gets, taps below and it gets that acceptance back above. It gives you the best possible entry. You're literally going to catch the low over here if this had to play out. So in this scenario where you build a triangle, okay, in an A, B, C, D, E, you do not take the low, you break to the upside and you leave everyone that's waiting for the entries over here, maybe limit orders, whatever the case they've got over here, and you just leave them behind, forcing them to buy in at higher prices. So from a market psychology perspective, I would preferably not like this low to be taken. From a trading perspective, I want that low to be taken because this is how I plan to trade it, guys, regardless of what scenario is going to play out. Okay, this is a very important low. Let me see if I have that over here. So let's put this in, guys. This, okay, switch on the magnet. Let's snap it on here. That is a very important low. Okay, let's make it white. Okay, because that is what I refer to as the range low. Okay, after a massive pump with volume to the upside, that little first low that you make over there, very important low. Because what price likes to do from a range low strategy perspective is it likes to grab the liquidity below. Okay, it grabs all the liquidity, stops everyone out, and then you want, I call it the tap and go. You want price to move away and not tap this level again. It's a very easy trading strategy if you know what you are doing. So regardless of what happens over here, this is a trade that I am willing to take. If price dips below and it starts trading back above, that is where I will be very interested in a long, depending on what I see over there, right? Just to keep it simple. But then you could form the triangle, like I've just highlighted. You could form a triangle in an A, B, C, D, E, okay, where you're basically not even going to take this low, right? You're not even allowed to take this low. A, B, C, maybe that's the D. Okay, it looks like this is now the D that's finished forming over here. D, E, okay, you do not take the low and then bang, you break to the upside. Also, I have seen ABCDEs in fourth ways, very common. They play out often. Okay, so something to keep in mind. Right, what you could also do is you could have a little trend over there. Okay, if you don't want to wait for that breakout, you could have a little trend over there. And then you wait for whatever, you don't know what to do over here. Maybe it's going to take the low, you don't know. Okay, you just wait for this trend to be broken. You play that little breakout. That's how I would trade this little scenario over here. Okay, right, legends, there are many scenarios. Okay, I had so many of them, but I messed up my folders. Just want to see. ABC down I have spoken about, okay, where you basically form a larger ABC down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You do not want to tap the invalidation. Then you find upwards momentum again. What else? Is there a chance that the WXY could be completed? Okay, but it basically lends itself to the same scenario. It could also be the triangle. So if this is a WXY that's completed over here, you don't want this low to be taken. So there's a chance that this corrective structure could be finished. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that's going to form over here. Okay, one of the scenarios that I discussed with the Legends Pro community this morning. So it lends itself to the triangle and to a finished corrective structure, but the low should not be taken. Okay, what else? That is basically what I see here on the price of Bitcoin, legends. Not much else. Okay, I would actually adjust this trend, and that is basically what I'm looking at. Okay, just want to see, that one is invalidated. Okay, but now you could form a larger, do I have it here? I was playing around with so many other scenarios. Okay, but the end result is the same, guys. You could have formed a W here, okay, a W over here. This is all part of a larger X structure, and now you're going down for an A, B, C to complete your Y wave. Okay, right, but it all comes, so everything that I've explained, regardless of what corrective structure this is, you know what I'm looking for. 112 should not be claimed. If price takes this low and it gets acceptance back above, I'm going to be interested in a long. If price breaks this little trend over here, I'm going to be interested in a long. So regardless of what corrective structure it is, I know I'm going to trade it. Okay. Right, so that is basically the technical analysis here on the price of Bitcoin. Okay. What's the highest probability for BTC? Okay, for the highest probability for BTC at the moment is to still take out the high, because it has not been validated. Okay, that is the highest probability scenario, is to still take out the high regardless of what's happening here at the moment. If we tap the invalidation, then I will talk about some of the bearish case scenarios. The bullish structure is still intact and the invalidation has not been tapped. Okay, so for me it makes sense to highlight the bullish case scenario because it's still in play. Price is making higher highs and higher lows. The momentum is up and it's in your best interest to trade with the trend until invalidated. Okay. Now we can look at some altcoins if you guys want. We can look at some altcoins. Is it good to long now? What do you mean? What about a flat? Yes, you could still create a flat, guys. I mean, you could still go up. This corrective structure, like I said, can still continue for longer. You can still create a flat, you can still come back down, and then you can rampage to the upside. Okay, in a Y. Because Y waves likes to make flats. Maybe this is your X that finished here. That's your W. This is your X. And now you create a flat in Y. You could create the ABC. Okay, you can create, this is your low in the triangle. So regardless, guys, whatever is going to happen over here, it looks corrective for the moment. Invalidation is still intact. But yes, you can still create the flat. Definitely a possibility. I would love the flat. Okay, because I'm going to get a better entry. If we create a flat over here, now that's going to be juicy. Because as a technical trader, it doesn't get better than this. And this is why I think the triangle might play out, because the market makers know I'm looking for that entry. Okay, right. So there are other ways in which you can trade it. I know that there are some people that are building. Okay, it's not my style of trading, but I know that there are some technical analysts that's saying, okay, I'm going to add 0.5% over here. If it comes back down low, I'll add another 0.5. Okay, they're building a position in the zone and they know exactly where their stop loss needs to be. Okay, expecting the high to be claimed again. So you need to decide from a risk to reward perspective, okay, how much leverage do you apply? You don't want to get liquidated. How much capital are you deploying? Guys, you know, remember, I'm discussing probabilities. For now, the probability is higher to still come and claim this high. But all shit can break loose and we can go down lower, right? And that is why you trade with stop losses. That is why you don't risk your entire account at 50, 100x leverage. Okay, we are responsible traders over here. Okay, what is cooking over here in the comment section? Right, legends, remember, before we dive into the altcoins, if you want to come and trade some amazing altcoins with me, I've got Bluffin, 20% cash back. Okay, BTCC up to $10,000 sign up bonus. Weeks, 25% discount on your trading fees. You also get 20% cash back on the money that you deposit in your features account, and you get upgraded to VIP status 1. You only get these deals and specials by using the links down in the description. Okay. Right. Also, guys, I've got Femix and quite a great exchange. And if you want to join our Legends Pro community, there's the link down in the description. So, guys, this is the links for the exchanges that I use, where I've organized you the best deals these exchanges has to offer. Costs you nothing extra. Okay, now BTC done, right? I just want to see what is happening here on CVD. Oof, absolutely tanking here to the downside. Okay, I was just looking at this, guys. I was just looking at this local structure over here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a chance that you could get some upwards momentum here, but now you don't know, is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or was this an A, B, C? Done. Okay, and now it's going to explode back to the upside. So just something that I'm keeping in mind. I want to jump here into the 15-minute time frame. I just want to see something here quick. I was looking at these fib extensions. Okay, I was looking at the structure as, what if this is an A, B, C? Okay, you did hit a C wave target. It would be nice to actually hit the 1-to-1 or the 1.236. But these Fibonacci levels, okay, they are powerful, guys. This is where you can get in with really good risk management. Okay, just before the live stream, I saw the bounce here at the 786. This is why I longed over here, because I was like, well, it has a chance. Okay, it has a chance. ABC done, right? What if it leaves all of these people behind and it shoots here to the upside? So, yeah, let's see. Okay, I would like that 1-to-1 to at least get hit, right? And you play the swing failure pattern from it. Okay, now let's go in, check in on some altcoins. Let's start with ICP. I have a lot of requests for ICP, so let's start with ICP. Okay, so someone asked the question, and I have a lot of analysis here. Anyways, guys, someone asked the question, what is the most bullish target that you see for ICP? The insane target, the target that no one would expect. Okay, well, I'm going to share that target with you then. But there's a disclaimer. Okay, there's a disclaimer. There's no guarantee that it's going to hit that target. All I'm doing is I'm showing you what I think the maximum target could be. Whether it's going to get there, I have no idea, because I have TPs all the way up. Okay, but if it does hit that target, I will be very, very, very happy. Right, so here on the logarithmic scale, this is where you get the maximum targets, the log scale. Okay, so I am now basically, let me just take some of the fibs here out the way. Yeah, there we go. If you take a trend-based fib from the low to the high to the low that was created over here, and you want to go and calculate what could potentially be an insane target to the upside, okay, then you're looking at the 1.618, which is $106. It can even extend to the 2 extension. But whether it's going to get there, I have no idea, guys. That is insane, okay? From where price is at the moment, if I just draw my ruler here to the upside to the 618, you're looking at 1,600%. And to the 2618, you're looking at double, okay? 3,656%. So that is the most insane bullish target that I have. On the regular scale, now this is where I keep things a little bit more realistic. Okay, and this is why my number 3 is over here. A more realistic target. Okay, because I know that 5th wave, why is it so high? Let's just bring this back down to earth. Okay. A more realistic target for me is using the the regular scale, and I do exactly, I got the same fib pool from the low to the high to the low, and I'm looking at this 1.618 at $33. Okay, for me this is more realistic. I do realize that if we do go into a proper altcoin season and dominance absolutely just collapses to the downside, okay, you could get a 3rd wave that extends, because the 1.618 is regarded as a common, okay, also sometimes a minimum 3rd wave target, the 1.618. But 3rd waves can really overextend. They can go to the 2 extension, they can go to the 2.618, they can go to the 3.618, they can go to the 4, they can go to the 5. Like, they can really overextend these 3rd waves. The reason I always highlight the 1.618 because it is the most common general target for a 3rd wave. Okay, I want to show you guys something here on XRP. I just want to see what happened here. Can you guys see when I took, okay, look at how well these fib levels get respected. When I took a trend-based fib on XRP from the low to the high to see, well, how high can this wave go? Look at the rejection we got at the 1.618. These levels are really good highly respected, especially when price is in price discovery. The only thing you can do is use fib extensions. There's nothing else. Well, according to me, okay, it's the best tool that you can use. Look at the reaction at the 1. You got a pullback, okay? That one didn't do anything, but then at the 1.618, we got that little bit of a pullback, and now it looks like it wants to rock and roll back to the upside. So the third wave is not done, because if it extends over here, it can go, guys. It can really go. Okay, the third waves are the most aggressive. They have the highest amount of volume, and they leave people behind, and they don't give you proper pullbacks. Okay, so that is something that I wanted to highlight on ICP. If all goes well, and we do get a nice little altcoin season here to the upside, I am at least expecting $33 from a conservative perspective. Okay, but I can tell you now, my trading strategy is I will take profits when we hit the high. I will at least take my initial investment out. Okay, maybe a little bit more, so that if hell breaks loose and we do this, okay, at least I took profits and I took my investment out, okay? And then I will leave the moon bag, whatever is raised, open, and I will take more profits. If it continues, I will take more. I'm going to DCA myself out of the position as it moves to the upside. That is my trading plan. I cannot, guys, and this was one of the mistakes I made during the previous bull cycle, is that I have a target. Let's say that's my target, and you just leave it. Okay, and just before it, we went into the bear market, and you waiting for your target to get hit. It doesn't get hit, and then before you know it, you realize, oh shit, we're in the bear market. Crap, I should have paid out. I should have cashed out. Okay, I would rather DCA myself out of a position and miss out on some more profits, but I do have profits in the bag. Right, so what up? What is up? What's your TP1 on ICP? The highs. Always. The highs of a structure is always my TP1. The highs. Okay. But I can tell you guys now, I might even consider taking a little bit of profits over here. Okay. At $15, I'm going to consider taking some profits. These little pivots, okay, they are always great profit-taking areas. Small little profit-taking, nice little profit-taking, okay. Profit taking, and as it goes to the upside, you DCA out until it starts turning around, and now you see, okay, you're starting to create a deeper correction. Okay, that's where I want to be. That's where I want to get out completely. Right, so things can still get crazy here to the upside. Can you please look at Gala? Hey, do we have Mr. Dutch, Mark Dutch here in the house? Welcome, Mr. Mark Dutch. Appreciate you being here. Hit that like for the amazing free TA. As always, thanks, Mark. Appreciate your support, man. Right, so now let's look at, someone wanted to look at Gala. Okay, let's look at Gala. And then I'm going to share one which I think is still potentially in buy zone. It's got a little bit, but I think it still has a lot of room to go. Okay, let's look at Gala over here. Oh, this is very, very old technical analysis. This was me doing education. Okay, let's see what is cooking with Mr. Gala over here. I just want to see what happened with these lows. Double bottom. Guys, I need to see if it took the low. Oof, it did not take the low. So there's a chance, okay, because the rule in Elliott wave theory states that a second wave can retrace 99% of wave 1. If this is 1 and this is 2, it can retrace 99% of this leg and still be a valid wave 2, where it's potentially now building a wave 3 here to the upside. But it's awfully close. And now the question is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And the only way that this can be a 5-wave impulse to the upside is an expanding structure. And it doesn't look like it meets all the requirements. Okay, there's your expanding structure. They are very rare, never preferred unless all other scenarios fail. But I do see expanding structures more common inside of altcoins. I think there's one that I saw in, was it sushi? There's one that I saw in bread, and now I'm seeing this again here on Gala. You do get expanding structures on altcoins. Okay, very rare, but I do see them. So this can potentially be a 5-wave structure. Most importantly, your 5th wave needs to be the longest. Okay, and your 3rd should not be shorter than 1, which is fine. So it respects the rules just by looking at it. I'm not going to go and measure out everything. It's going to take too long. So there's a chance, okay, it came so close. It came so close to this low, but there's a chance you can use this as a 1, 2, and now you're still expecting upwards momentum. So in the short term, what I would expect over here is you take your trend-based fib, okay, from the low to the high to the low. Just want to take the brushes out so I can see those pivots clearly. Right, so there's a chance, okay, it's still going to hit at least, you know, this zone over here. 1.236618, that is a 3rd wave target. It doesn't have to hit the 1.618 as long as it's just longer than this wave. Okay, so this is the zone. It can easily get there, right? Does it have a chance to claim the all-time high? Who knows? I don't know, right? All I can tell you is based on this structure, there's a chance it can at least hit 0.03124 cents. Okay, maybe you make your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it makes a correction and it continues, right? Because after 5 waves, you want to see a 3-wave corrective structure and continuation back to the upside. But like I've said with 3rd waves, guys, 3rd waves can extend. They can really extend. It can go and take the high. I don't know, right? It can hit the 1.618, 2.618, 3.618. I don't know how high the 3rd wave is going to go. It really depends on how aggressive the altcoin season is going to be. The more aggressive, the more money flows into the alt ecosystem, the harder these 3rd waves are going to pump. Okay? But I'm giving you minimum targets. Okay? You play it level to level, right? Most of the altcoins, guys, and this is something I just want to point out, is that most of the altcoins has formed the structure. Most of the altcoins has formed the structure. Some of them have made a nice little higher low, okay? And some of them have done this already, okay? They are here already. So I get it. We are trying to catch this little move, okay? On some of the alts that has not taken place just as yet. We're trying to catch this extension of the 3rd wave. Okay, 1.6182 extension can go to the 2.618. Who knows, right? But yeah, for now, it looks like green volume is kicking in. You want to see the highest amount of volume in your 3rd wave. And for the moment, it's still intact. Maybe it's forming a couple of 1-2s. Okay, this could be just building up 1-2s, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, and eventually you're going to get that acceleration to the upside, right? Take the highs. Who knows? Okay, it's still locally, it's still making higher highs and higher lows. As long as it can keep this upwards momentum, it should be fine. You don't want to change market structure. Right, so let's go on to the next one. Coty, we spoke about Coty last week, Friday. Okay, Coty is one of those low cap. Someone asked me, do you have a high degen token, low market cap? Coty is one of those, right? It's just started nibbling, breaking out. You guys can see where I spoke about it on Friday was, yeah. Okay, now it's already pumped a little bit more to the upside. It has a chance to at least come and claim this high. So guys, I cannot tell you how you need to manage your risk, okay? How much leverage you want to apply, but what I can tell you is that this stop loss, if you enter right here, the stop loss needs to be below the low, is 39% away. So if you 10x this little bad boy, you liquidate it if it decides to turn around here. But I think, you know, if bullish momentum continues, dominance keeps on dropping, okay, there's a chance that some of these tokens that have not popped just as yet can, you know, get that acceleration here to the upside to at least come and claim these highs. Right, another one that I was looking at, which one was it? Okay, here we go, guys. Maybe not too late, but someone asked me, Dewald, please can you share your trading plan on Moon River? Very high risk, small part of my portfolio, very small part of my portfolio. Here's my trading setup. Okay, there's my stop loss. Okay, I built a position. Okay, there's my entry. Okay, I've just moved this entry higher if you decide to enter over here. But for me, it's just broken out, okay, of a long trend line. It's just broken out. For me, it's still okay. If I didn't have an entry on Moon River at $7, okay, I would still nibble at this from a spot perspective. Maybe low leverage 2x. I won't go any higher than that. 2, 3x maybe. Okay, because the stop loss is also very far away. Okay, and this is where I plan to get out of the positions. Okay, TP1, I take my initial investment out, take some more profits, and when it hits TP3 and it still wants to run, okay, I'll have a small little moon bag that's just gonna mahala here to the upside. Guys, but I am taking profits during this bull cycle. I am taking profits. Okay, there's no, it's just, you know, I will only close my position once it hits the high. No, it's not how I'm going to trade. I will rather have guaranteed profits in the bag and let the moon bag ride to the upside if it wants to continue. Okay, but the gains here to the upside, guys, from where price is now to hit my first TP area, I'm looking at 161%, 228%, I'm looking at 3x, where I'm going to get out of my most of my position. I will be exiting here at 3x. I do realize that it can, of course, it can do this, but I will let the moon bag do the rest over here. Okay, so Moon River looks good. I like the fundamentals. It's something that I have been tracking since the previous bull cycle. There's a lot of good stuff that the project team is doing. So I'm not sure if you guys are also familiar with the fundamentals. And then, right, let's go through some more over here. XRP, target for XRP. I would say my target for XRP is $6.5. Okay. My target for XRP is $6.5. I actually have it over here. I think XRP, if it can continue here to the upside, it can get to $6.5. I don't know if it's going to get there, but what I can tell you is, guys, I know it looks bullish, but I don't think $6.5 is crazy enough compared to some of the thumbnails that I see. $20 XRP, $50 XRP. These are some of the thumbnails that I see on YouTube. So I don't think my $6.5 is unrealistic over here. Okay. But what I can tell you guys is I already took profits at the highs and I nibbled at more profits at the 618. Because as part of my trading strategy, I have to pay myself. So I already took some more profits. Okay, because you can form a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's done. And it starts a deeper correction. Okay, does it have a chance for more upwards momentum? Of course. Right. I think a realistic target, okay, I don't even know why I have a high target like that, but I think I calculated it based on the log scale. Okay. I need to go and work out exactly. I know I did some crazy Elliott wave counting over here, but I need to go and update my count. 4, 5. Yes, 5 can hit 0.618, which is a fifth wave target. I think I basically look at these extensions over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0.618 is a fifth wave target. So there's a chance that it can hit $6.5. People talking about $20 XRP, they are crazy, guys. You do not understand what amount of money needs to flow into XRP to push it to $20. It is, I think people are absolutely crazy. They don't take the market cap into consideration. Okay, there's an enormous amount of money that needs to flow into XRP to push it to $20. So I'm just keeping it realistic over here. Right, what else? Thanks, Dewald. Sui. Sui. Oh, I know a lot of people are trading Sui. Okay, it's everywhere. Sui this, Sui that. Let's see what we did over here. I had some red drawings, some dangerous stuff over here, but it's respecting my channel actually haven't looked at SUI in a long time, but it's still respecting my channel. Okay, and there's a chance, okay, that this is one. Look at the green count, guys. 1, 2. You are still busy building your third wave here to the upside, but yeah, so SUI can still really overextend. But let's rather look at the red count. Okay, let's keep it conservative. I have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's just keep it realistic. Let me take this flip out the way. That's most probably confusing a lot of people. To calculate a fifth wave target, the most conservative way to calculate a fifth wave target, if this is the last push to the upside for, say, maybe this is the last push to the upside, and then you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a contracting diagonal, and then the bear market starts. But it still creates a higher low and it continues momentum to the upside. Okay. It's basically, from a simplistic perspective, you want the top of the channel to be tapped. Okay, so I don't know how long it's going to take before it taps the top, but I mean, if you go up here in a relatively straight line, you're looking at about $11. Just keeping it very simple. Okay, then you can use your trend-based FIBs as well. I can take it here from number 3 to number 4, reverse it to the upside. Realistically, if you want to be conservative and you want to have guaranteed, almost guaranteed targets, because nothing's guaranteed in the market, you're looking at $7 to $8. That is a realistic fifth wave target. Okay, just keeping it very conservative. Yes, there are. If I go to the other, the most bullish case targets here for the fifth wave, it can still get crazy here to the upside, like I've just highlighted. But if you want guarantee, you want to get out before the police comes. Okay, because remember, guys, there's a chance to form a contracting diagonal over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what if it just hits this box and it starts rejecting here to the downside, loses the trend, and we enter a bear market? Okay, and you're still waiting for these levels up here, right? Take majority of your profits, leave a moonbag open. If you see the weakness, especially if price gets acceptance back below this high over here, okay, that's usually where I will consider very strongly getting out. Okay, so just keeping it simple here on Say. I didn't even know that I did this technical analysis on Say, but now that I have, looks great. Okay, there's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyways, makes sense. Guys, and all of these tokens can be traded with Bluffin, with BTCC, with Weeks. Links for the biggest sign-up bonuses and discounts are always down in the description. Ooh, I have a super chat here from Mr. Jack, one of the mods. Super chat. Thank you so much, Dewald. I've shared a setup on DC. Hope you check it. A setup. Did you share a setup? Where did you share it, Jack? Did you share it inside the basic chat over here? Oh, people are busy. Okay. Here we go. Right, is this the one, Jack, that you are referring to? Dewald, did you know Eat Moon River all-time high was 540? Holy crap. Imagine. Can you imagine if Moon River goes to 540? Yeah. That would definitely be banana zone, guys. That would definitely be... Super chat, Jack. Yes, this scenario definitely in play. And there's a chance... Okay, let me see over here. Let me see, what is Bitcoin doing? There's a chance that the E-wave could be in. Okay, if I look at Bitcoin. Guys, we've seen it many times before where you build a triangle. Okay, there's a chance. Where's the triangle? I did have it here. Okay, I have... And there's an example. I can show you guys many examples. There's a chance your E's in. It's done. And it's going to rock and roll here to the upside. I have seen this before. There's a chance. Okay. And this is why I was looking for longs in this zone. Because I know the market loves to front run. Okay. Especially on the last wave. Everyone is expecting the trend to be tapped over here. Okay. The most perfect entry. market makers are not going to make it easy. They're going to give you a confusing area, and then it starts lifting. It rampages to the upside. So if you are not in this trade, what I would recommend is go to the 5 minute. Okay, if you are not in the trade and you think that the E wave is in and it's going to leave without you, well, have no fear. Okay, wait for the break of that trend, because it could still go down. Okay, it can still reject, but if it holds itself, okay, and it breaks out high time frame candles above the trend, well, that's a bullish sign. So you can catch the breakout before the breakout, and then by the time it gets to this trend, you can have a protected position. So if it rejects, okay, you lose nothing, right? If you play this breakout and it rejects, you're gonna, you have to put your stop loss below the low, so you're gonna take on some risk. Okay, so if you missed it, wait for the breakout. Well, that's what I would do. I would wait for the breakout. Okay, because now I got stopped out. And yeah, is what it is, right? Is what it is. But I'm really happy with my swing trade still, still running here to the upside. Theta up 400%. Anyways, guys, it's not about me showing off. It's, it's about buying at the right time. Okay, when no one wanted to buy, this is when I bought. Okay, Litecoin. I can show you guys where I bought, where my entries are. I need to go here on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, can you guys see? I highlighted these entries, guys. I'm buying. It was in my buy zone. I had a box on my chart. It entered my buy zone. There was also a nice little breakout, okay, where you could have entered. Doge, right? Buy zone. AVAX. Oh, AVAX was a beautiful entry. My brother actually told me to get into AVAX. Okay, I think my brother told me to get in over here, and then I had a 618 here a little bit further down, and this is where I got in, right? But also break of trend, beautiful. Now it's just, I'm just enjoying the profits here to the upside. Right, let's go. Jack, Dewald, I've shared the setup. Hope you check it. Jack, yes, I have checked it. Makes complete sense. There's a chance that the E wave is in. So wait for the breakout, guys. Wait for the confirmation. Or, I mean, you need to do you at the end of the day. If you want to, open up a small position over here and you think that this invalidation is not going to hit, right? Small little position. One of the psychology questions you need to ask yourself is that you have to tell yourself, I'm going to get stopped out. You have to tell yourself that. I'm entering this trade and I'm going to get stopped out. How do you feel about that? Is it okay? And if you're like, yeah, it's okay, right? I don't mind. Then you are risking the right amount of money. But if you entering a position over here, thinking that the E wave is in, and you ask yourself that question, is it okay if price does this? Okay. And you are nervous, and you're sweating a little bit, you are risking way too much money in this trade. Way too much. Okay. Right. It's a very important psychological question to ask yourself. Am I okay with the loss? And if you're okay, very few people can answer that, because I see people FOMOing into trades, especially here on altcoins at the moment. They just buy. Right, 10x leverage, 20x leverage, let's go. No stop loss. Let's if it goes lower, I'll add a little bit more. Ooh, you might get lucky if we get a proper bull season here to the upside and a proper altcoin season here to the upside. You will get lucky a couple of times, but there's going to be a time where one trade wipes out your account. Right, what else? Myro, Dewald, Myro, AR. Like the legend Andy says, wait for confirmation. Yes, Crypto Invader, that's such a good point. Wait for confirmation. Wait for confirmation. Guys, I don't mind. Was this you guys now buying here? Was this you? Is this you guys buying over here? I don't mind having a higher entry, but I have a more confirmed entry than just FOMOing into a trade and then it turns against me because I didn't wait for confirmation. So, right. I want to see if there's maybe another trend. It is the lower time frame. I don't want to go lower than the 5 minute, but I mean, you could have said, okay, that's your trade, that's your stop loss, play the breakout, you're already TP1, TP2, TP3, you're out, or maybe you just want the all-time high to be claimed from the zone over here. There's a chance that there's a chance. Okay, also something that I'm noticing here, guys, is that for the bulls, the reason they have a chance for a breakout here to the upside, okay, is because this structure up here can be counted as a 5-wave structure. Okay, this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this at the moment is a 3-wave structure. Can you guys see? This is a 3-wave structure. This is what you want to see in a corrective structure after you have 5 waves to the upside. For the moment, this is a 3-wave structure. And when you see a 3-wave structure, okay, it usually has a good chance to go and claim the high. Right, if it falls down here, and now you have a 5-wave structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, okay, ABC up, and then you go down, right? So you don't want to see another leg to the downside. That low that it created needs to hold. If it doesn't, there's a good chance you're going to claim the low over here. Okay, you don't want to see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It could be a contracting diagonal that forms over here. It creates that other 5th wave here to the downside. It creates an ABC, and it creates another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 3, 5. Okay, so price should not, for the bulls, price should not take this low. Then it's a valid 3-wave structure. Momentum needs to continue to the upside. Right, what else? Myro, someone asked for Myro. Myro USDT. Let's go. Myro, let's go. I used to have Myro here on the chart. Guys, I think I still have a spot position in Myro, if I'm not mistaken. Small little spot position somewhere. Holy crap, it took a beating here to the downside. Okay. But it has broken trend and it's formed, so it looks good, right? I'm not going to talk about the macro Elliott wave counts, but what looks good here on Myro is that, you know, you have a higher low. Really good. When you break trend on a higher low, it's a really good sign. It has a chance to come and eat up the highs over here. Okay, I mean, from where price is now to the high, it's still a 73% trade. That's absolutely insane. But from where price is right now, where your stop loss is supposed to go, is 46%. Can you guys see? The percentage moves are absolutely insane. So please, please, please be careful with leverage. Okay, if you get your leverage a little bit wrong, a little shakeout like that could liquidate you. And then it continues, and you have no more account left. It liquidated you, and all it did was a small little correction. Okay, if you need to calculate your leverage correctly, right? That's where your stop loss is supposed to go. That's TP1, TP2, TP3, and you basically DCA yourself out of your position. But I mean, it has a chance. Okay, so purely from a FIB extension perspective, from the low to the high to the low. Okay, reverse it to the upside. There's a chance it can go to the 1.618. Okay, that is absolutely insane, guys. From where price is now, that's 172% move. Okay, with 3x leverage, it's a pretty decent move. Okay, just want to see if there's not any other trends. I mean, it is so volatile. It's so wicky. I don't really know if yeah, I think that's the reason I don't have this trend. It's broken out a long time ago using this trend over here. I prefer the one that I have. Okay, I was just tracking this momentum over here. It broke out successfully. Beautiful 3 taps on the 4th. Broke out, higher low. Can definitely continue momentum here to the upside. Right, that's basically it for Mr. Myro. Let's do AR. Yes, I do have a nice little spot bag of AR. Okay, I do have a nice little spot bag. Jack, you know it. I know there's just a couple of people that bought the spot bag with me. I really love the fundamentals about AR, okay? And I also like the fact that, guys, the lines are all wonky here because I'm jumping between lock and regular scale, okay? If I go to regular, then all the levels make sense. You can see, okay? All the levels make sense. If I jump to lock, then, you know, so don't look at the levels that I have here. But some of the things I want to discuss over here is AR has a beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it has most likely formed a wave 1. This is a wave 1. This was all a wave 2 that did not take the lows. So it's a valid 1, 2. So you want to be part of this wave. It has a high chance of claiming this high. Now, these are the type of altcoins that I love. Okay? It's not just yeah or yeah or yeah, right? It has a high chance of claiming the high because this is a valid 1, 2. Now you expect a macro 3 here to the upside to at least come and claim the highs at $62. So I'm not, guys, I don't know if it's going to continue and if it is going to claim the highs, but what I can tell you is you have a low and you have a higher low. And what do you get after a high and a higher low? You usually get a higher high, a higher low, and it continues. Okay. From a conservative perspective, I think AR, let me just make sure that I'm on the regular scale over here. Okay. From a conservative perspective, here is my predictions. Okay. I think AR has a good chance. Okay. Guys, all of these targets and scenarios that I'm sharing here is subject to us getting the altcoin season that everyone thinks that we are in. Okay, going into that banana zone where everything's just absolutely crazy, where retail starts. Guys, retail is still not back. Believe it or not, retail is still not back, even with these little rallies that we're having on our favorite altcoins. So I think there's still a lot of juice in the tank. Retail needs to come back so that we can take profits into retail. It's a sad reality, but it's how it works. Okay, we need retail so we can start taking profits. From a conservative perspective, I'm looking at, okay, between $78 and $95 AR. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. Bear market starts. Okay. Third wave, like I always say, can overextend. It can go to the 2.618, whatever the case might be. The highs of each structure, guys, are always a good profit-taking area, like I've highlighted on ICP. Okay, even that little pivot over there, I will definitely take some profits there. TP1, take my initial investment out plus some profits, leave a moonback open, leave a moonback open, take some more profits, and if it wants to go, let it go. Okay. Right, I just want to quickly see something here on ETH. I mean, guys, look at this. Okay, look at this. Okay, ETH has a good chance to go to the 1.618, $4,500. Look at this. You have 5 waves up, you have a corrective structure, and now it's busy with the third wave. Volume kicking in. Third waves has the most amount of volume. Remember, I always hammer on this, hammer on this. Third waves has the most amount of volume. They are very aggressive. It leaves people behind. Okay, they're waiting for a retracement which just doesn't come. Okay, look at that small little retracement. It just doesn't come. It can pretty much continue here to the 1.618, 2 extension. I don't know how aggressive and crazy things are going to get over here, but I'm looking at least $4,500. Okay, and then for the fifth wave to complete at $5,000. My minimum target on ETH is $5,000. It's my minimum target. Okay, and that's most probably where I'm going to take a big portion of my investment out. Well, not my investment, my trades. Okay, guys, I have an investment portfolio and I have a swing trade portfolio and I have spot bags, and so ETH and Bitcoin is the only 2 tokens that I accumulate from a long-term perspective. Okay, maybe Link, we'll see. Are we building up some bullish or bearish CVD? That is the question. Ooh, it's still bullish. It's still bullish. Okay. Right, this could be a nice little pullback. I'll see if I'll get into the retest over here. If it can give us a nice little retest. Okay, this little local structure. I really like this. If I take a fib extension, guys, I really like this one-to-one extension. If price comes down and it taps the one-to-one extension, then I'll be very happy to get in. Okay. Alternatively, this is an impulse to the upside. This is going to create a three-wave structure, make a higher low, and continue. Okay, but I would like I like, I'm just a guy, I like my levels to get hit. Like what happened over here. This is why I attempted a long over here and I got stopped out with this little monstrosity here to the downside. So, but you can see I'm looking for longs. Okay, I am looking for longs. Right, now this is a better trend. The angle of the trend, way better. Okay, so you can also wait for the breakout of this trend. Can you guys see how you can track the momentum? Okay, you're going to have three trends. You can wait for the breakout of this trend, you can wait for the breakout of this trend, or you can just wait for the breakout of the above trend. Okay. Right. Let's go through some comments. Oh, you guys can't see the comments because my face is in the way. Let me put my face on the other side. Whoops. Let me share the right screen. Right, let's go through the comments in this format. Tia, please. Dewald, are you going to open a Telegram signals group like Andy and Matt? No. No, guys. I spend a lot of my time inside of the Legends Pro community. I like to focus on education. I do provide signals, but it comes with education. What am I looking for? Why am I entering over there? I'm not a big fan of signals. I know that the people love Andy and Matt's signal groups, but it's not something that I want to do. I want to focus on education. I want to focus on teaching you to catch fish so that you can eat forever. That is my focus. And this is why I'm spending my time developing the trading course. Okay, because managing those signal groups takes a lot of time. I can see how much time and Matt and Andy are spending looking for the setups, updating the community. It takes a lot of time, guys. You don't realize how much work goes in the behind the scenes. It's like trying to find that setup that has the highest probability of playing out. And then sometimes when the trade goes against you, because we all get stopped out of traders, there's an emotional component that goes with it, because it's not just me that got stopped out of the trade. My whole community got stopped out of the trade. Then there are hate comments that comes with it. You said, it's all the hate and the shit that comes with it from a signals perspective that I don't want to be a part of. I would rather focus on the educational part, okay, to teach you to fish for yourself. Right? It's just my passion. Wisdom in December 20, even with comparative lower subscribers, Dewald had more watching that. Yes, Jack, you make a very good point. Yes, I had more people. I had half of the subscribers that I had now, but I had more, double or triple the amount of people watching the live streams. I had 600, 800 people watching my live streams in December. Now there is, let's say a round number, there's 200 people watching this live stream. Retail is not here yet. I expect momentum to still continue until we get retail back. Once retail is back, we need to start thinking about taking profits. Okay, are you going to open? No, gone through that. Can you look at deep? How deep do you want me to go? Ivan, thanks for the super chat. Can you look at deep, please, Dewald? Yes, let's go look at deep over here. And thanks for the love, guys. I appreciate the love that you guys are sharing. Let's play the triangle trade together here on live. If we get the opportunity. Right, Dogecoin. Ooh, I got a nice little bag of Dogecoin. Right, but let's go look at Mr. Deep here, or Coin Deep here for Mr. Ivan? Okay, let's go. Deep. I don't think I've ever looked at deep. How deep can this coin go? Right. Let's just open a couple. Let's open a couple, see which one has the most data that I can use. Let's go to the daily. Okay, this is, yeah, this is enough. This is all I need, right? It actually does not look bad, right? Yeah, on the daily time frame, guys. I mean, one thing to acknowledge, the trend is up, okay? The trend is up. You're still making higher lows. And more specifically, what I'm focusing on right now is this little structure over here, okay? On the daily time frame, without going into the smaller time frames, I can see that there's some sort of 1-2 over here. And then you have high amount of volume in this move. That tells me that this is a third wave. Then you have 4 and you have 5. So you have a 5-wave impulsive structure here to the upside. Long, boring, corrective structure, very overlappy, no impulsiveness. I'm not going to count it in too much detail, but I can see this is a corrective structure. It made a higher low, and now momentum is continuing here to the upside. So the beautiful thing about deep over here is that I can use a trend-based fib from this low because of the impulsive structure to this low. And usually, okay, third waves, so from an Elliott wave perspective, okay, this could be the count. 1, 2, you wanted to go to banana zone over there, 5. Let's put in the line so everyone can see, make it the primary. Okay, that is definitely a scenario that could play out. Okay, that's just what I'm saying, guys. Retail is not here yet. I mean, look at this volume. Look at this. Can you imagine if it starts accelerating here to the upside and volume starts kicking in? It takes the highs. Okay, I expect this is when retail, once we take these highs on most of the local structures, on the highs that was created in April this year, these highs that were created in April, Jan, Feb, some of them were a little bit delayed, some of them were a little bit early. Once we take these highs, that's where I expect retail to start trickling back. But at the moment, it's still a lower high. Okay, retail is maybe not interested in, there's not enough hype yet. 1, 2, it needs to rock and roll, get retail in so that we can take profit. Well, you, Mr. Ivan, can take profits. Right. And I'm hoping that this is where you got in. Okay, there's a beautiful trend that formed over here. Beautiful little trend. Can you see? Okay, so you either got in here, or you got in here. Okay, depending on how you drew your trend. Maybe you took it from this high to this little pivot, you know, to be a sniper, to get a best possible entry. So maybe you got in over here. Maybe you got in over here. And, right. So, I mean, you guys, I'm not going to do it now, but you can zoom into the smaller time frames and you can see if there's a little trend forming. You can play the breakouts because it does look like there's a trend forming over there. You can play that breakout. Maybe it's not finished forming, but have the trend ready on the smaller time frames. Okay. Deep, I think, has not popped yet. It has a chance to pop. So on the 1 hour time frame, keep an eye on this trend. Okay, wait for the breakout. I can see that there's not a lot of it's low liquidity. Well, here on KuCoin, okay, it depends on which chart you analyze. But this gaps and pixelation over here tells me there's not a lot of volume yet. Well, retail is not here. I can see retail is not here yet. So wait for the breakout. There's always another opportunity to get in. Okay, look at that beautiful breakout. Also there, beautiful breakout. Okay, so wait for the break of trend. Okay, because it can still continue down, right? Don't FOMO. It can still go down. It can still claim the low. You don't know. Or some high time frame candle closes above, right? And then you're at least targeting the high. But it looks like those tokens that hasn't done that lift off just as yet. Okay, the aggressive lift off. I think it still needs to accelerate here to the upside. So another super chat. I'm getting spoiled today with all the super chats. Dewald, what's the price range you're seeing for injective? Minimum and maximum targets. Woo, don't forget BTC tapping 1, 2, 1. What is BTC doing? What is BTC doing? Is it going down? Guys, I will wait. If we tap, okay, if I see what I want, by the way, if we tap the 1-to-1 extension and we get a swing failure, I will attempt along live, if I'm still live, over here. Only if I see what I like to see. No reaction, okay, no trade. Then I wait for the next level, and I wait for the next level, and I wait for the next level, because that is what I do as a technical trader. I just keep an eye on the levels, and if I see a reaction that I like, I can enter with good risk management. Protect my position when price moves in my favor. Okay, that's how I get into trades, guys. Okay, you can have alarms at each of those levels as well. By the way, I just want to put an alarm on this little trend over here. Okay, so we spoke about Injective. Rom, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go and look at Injective protocol. Right. INJ. Okay, daily. Oh, INJ has made such a nice, beautiful corrective structure here to the downside. Higher low, lows, okay, 5-wave impulse to the upside. Maximum target, INJ, just for you. Maximum target. Okay, I'm going to use this wave to calculate the maximum target. Right, you take it from the low. Oops, wrong fib. Fib extension. From the low to the high to the low. Maximum target, and this is an absolute insane crazy target, which I cannot give this a high probability at all, but you asked for it on the logarithmic scale. Maximum target 1.618, $3,000. That is absolutely insane. Okay, please guys, this is, don't bank on those targets. In fact, that's insane. 22,000% to the upside, right? So let's keep it a little bit more realistic. Right, you're looking at $91, $100. I think this is a good zone. This is the banana zone, guys. I think, when things get crazy, you start taking the highs, retail starts coming back, banana zone here to the upside. It's a good place to seriously think about starting to take some profits. It doesn't matter, guys. It really doesn't matter if it continues. Let me just put my face back here on the... It really doesn't matter if the token continues to the upside. The one thing I just want to make very clear to everyone is that if I look at Bitcoin here on the weekly time frame, okay, and let's just compare it. Oh, this is dominance. Right, let's look at... Okay, let's just use deep here, for example. Okay, look at this nice little parabolic move it had here to the upside. Let's compare it to the 2021 bull cycle that we had. I can tell you guys now, the people that took profits over here and the people that took profits over here, just DCAing themselves out of the position, I can guarantee you when price did this, all of these people laughed at these people. Haha, you crazy. Look at where price is at the moment. And I can tell you now, everyone that laughed over here, okay, wish they looked back at that and they remember that funny guy that took profits over there, and they were like, shit, I wish I took profits here. I wish I took profits here, because look at where we are right now. Because most people don't know where to take profits. They like to criticize, they like to judge. You got out of your position too early, okay, because this could happen, guys. Okay, it rampages here to the 1.618. We take profits like crazy people, and the third wave extends. Okay, what if this happens? What if it does that? Then what's going to happen? People are going to laugh at me, okay, for taking profits over here. But I can tell you, when we go into the bear market, they're going to wish they took profits. Okay. Right. So conservatively, also, I just want to highlight that I am highlighting $100. What is this? 44 cents. Oh, this is deep. I need to go to Injective. Where's Injective? I just want to wrap up Injective over here. Right. The highs. Okay. These little pivots, always profit-taking areas. Just want to highlight that. So if you're asking me for a conservative target, I can tell you now that the highs are always a conservative target. Okay, always, 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 always. If you want to get a little bit more insane in the banana zone, $91 to $100, right? But the most conservative target is the highs. You want to claim the highs of the structure. That's the most conservative target. And then obviously these Fibonacci levels also becomes, target TP areas if you want to consider them, depending on the reaction at those levels. Right, cool legends. I have unfortunately run out of time. Remember to smash up that like button. I've got Bluffin, BTCC, Weeks, and Femix. All you need is an email and a password. You get the best sign-up bonuses, 20% cash back on top of the money that you deposit to trade with for free, up to $10,000 sign-up bonus, 20%. Yeah, you also get 25% discount on your trading fees, VIP status 1, Femix, guys. So if you want alternatives to trade with and have the most insane sign-up bonuses, lowest trading fees, cost you nothing extra. Okay, here are the exchanges, also your way to support the channel. Have yourselves a great evening, afternoon, or morning from wherever you are in the world. I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers for now.